Right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I just wanted to start with introductions so long. It's not quite 10 o'clock, so we'll give it 1 or 2 minutes to wait for everyone to join us. Just to quickly check, maybe you guys can just comment in the chat if you can hear me so long and can see my screen, just to get some feedback from the audience that is already in the webinar. And then you'll see everyone's muted at the moment, so we'll keep everyone muted for now, and we'll unmute everyone at the end for questions. But I'll get going at 10 with a full introduction. So can you guys see my screen so long, possibly, and hear me? Okay, excellent. Okay, fantastic. So we've got 10 o'clock now, so I'd like to start punctually. I think everyone else can still join us as we go along. So I do want to welcome you all today for this webinar from Festo on Quick Search Plus. So it's a little software tool of ours that we use, which is basically our product catalog. Very, very handy tool, has a lot of features and benefits that I want to go through and show you guys how easy it makes your lives working with Festo parts and part numbers. So we'll start with that today. Just a few house rules before we get going. I will keep the audience on mute just for the streamlining the effect, to not to lose too much time between questions. We will unmute everyone at the end. So right at the end of the presentation, if you want to still ask questions, please just ask them at the end. If you have something important you'd like to ask or share during the presentation, please feel free to just type in a question. I'll try and get to them as I see them, and I'll get reminded of them. Yeah, so I'll keep this very interactive. It's a live demonstration, so it won't be a presentation. You'll see the first 2 slides will be a presentation, and then I'll move over to the tool. Yeah, so I see we've got a nice amount of attendees this morning. So I think then, without further ado, I'll get into it. So all right, so perfect. So Quick Search Plus. So what is Quick Search Plus and what is the tool about? It's a little software tool, 2 megabytes in size. It's currently used, sorry, I was a bit fast there. It's currently used in about 64 countries. It will be integrated in our new product catalog that will be launched in the future. This Quick Search Plus is available in 41 languages. So in South Africa, most of you work on English. We all do, so it's not too much of an issue. But further up into Africa, we have French and a few other languages like Italian. So across the world, Quick Search Plus is available in multiple languages. It's a small file, so you don't need to worry about downloading a big file to your PC. It's 2 megabytes in size, very convenient. And if you close it, everything you had saved or done on there is still available for you when you reopen it. So there's some really nice benefits to using Quick Search. So just to get an overview from the audience, I'll just ask Nikita right now. Nikita, would you just maybe launch a poll for our audience so we can just get a feel from everyone who has used it or who is familiar with Quick Search? Ladies and gents, if you don't see the poll, maybe just minimize your screen. If you are running full screen at the moment on your PCs, maybe just minimize the screen so you can see the poll. Nikita, if you don't mind starting that poll for us. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to start launching it now.
Thank you. Right, so we just want to quickly see what everyone's opinions are on Quick Search Plus. Or have you worked with it? Have you seen it before? Would you use it? I guess hopefully I can answer that question for you today. If you haven't used it before, I think there's some benefit for you if you've used it. I see there's the first few results from the polls are coming through for everyone. Thank you for voting. We appreciate the feedback. See, there's so far the majority have used it, but not regularly. So that's great. So hopefully I can convince you guys today that this is really a cool tool to use. All right. So see, we've got quite a good overview on the voting. Maybe just keep it open for another 20 seconds or so, and then we'll get into the tool. Fantastic. So really glad the weather today is much warmer on our side of the country here in Joburg. So I hope everyone else is not experiencing any cold weather currently. It's a really nice day to be out and about. All right, fantastic. Thank you, Nikita. I think you can close the poll. See, most
Okay,
people have voted.
I'm closing the poll now.
Thank you. All right, excellent. Thank you for that feedback. I see the majority have used Quick Search. You guys have an idea. I think I'll start with the basics. So I'll go out of presentation mode now, and I will close the presentation. So what I want to start with is the tool here. As you can see, the tool in front of you, this is Quick Search Plus. So the first question would be, where do we find Quick Search Plus? So the version that you guys can run and use is available on the internet. So I'll start with that from the Festo website, so festo.co.za or festo.com, and then navigate to the South African website. On the South African website, what you'll see is a support and downloads button right at the top of the page. This is what we call our support portal. The support portal has multiple layers or a lot of information and not just tools. So any free software that we have from Festo will be on support portal. Operating instructions, for example, for Festo products, catalogs, documentation, some nice help files, links to videos, etc. for Festo. Components are all found on the support portal, and one of those would then be software. So if I type into my search field quick and then just hit enter, should find quick search. So I'm not typing the full description. I just want to quickly see the full description, Quick Search Plus. So it's currently loading. So as soon as it's loaded, you'll see that under the software tab at the bottom here, there will be the link for all the software from where you can download Quick Search. So at the moment, it's quickly getting in here. You'll see it's updated now. So under the software tab here on the right-hand side, you see there's six items. So if I click on that, the very first one will be the latest version. You can see that 2020-07. So that's the July version. Quick Search Plus gets updated 3 times a year. So we update the catalog in March, July, and December. So that's one of the key reasons why this tool is so important, because we update it. So any updates, product updates, new products that are released, phased out products, any information like that that could be relevant to your daily operations is updated in this tool, and it's a nice quick way to do. Offline tools aren't updated, so once you use them, you not always on the latest level or the latest you don't always have the latest catalog available to you. Right, so Quick Search Plus, you've got multiple options. You can click on engineering software. From there, it's gonna start a little bar at the bottom here. You'll see it will say run or save. So from that bar, you can just press run, and it will update and load it onto your desktop. Once you've loaded it onto your desktop, you'll have a little icon similar to the icon here on the left-hand side. That icon I won't now because I have already loaded it. That little icon you see is a queue with a big plus on the right-hand side. Once you've opened it, you'll get a tool looking like the one I have in front of me now. So Quick Search Plus, really compact tool, 2 megabytes. As I mentioned, some of the benefits, you always have the latest Festo products available on the catalog. Currently, you'll see in this catalog here, I've got about 82,000 items. So it's very extensive product overview. You've got the latest products, you've got the current products, you also have phased out products. So anything that is older and not available anymore, you can look at potential alternatives. So there's some benefits for you there. You have access to our Festo tools, our engineering tools, product finders, other items that could be relevant for you. So there's real benefits in using this. Then another benefit, a really big benefit that I want to highlight today is if you work with the online shop or to do BOMs and to do quotes and to get pricing, this could be a really quick way of doing it, because you can create the BOM on quick search, you can import it to online shop and use it from there, which is really nice. Saves you a lot of time from entering the parts one by one into your online shop. I'll show you how to handle that. And also another benefit here with Quick Search Plus, you have everything from one source. So you don't have to think about where's the link to find spare parts, where's my documentation, how do I get documentation, CAD overview. I can do everything from this tool. So once I've set up, I have all my links available to me. I can import symbols from Quick Search to a Fluid Draw. So there's a lot of benefits here to use this tool. I think it's a really great tool. I know we from technical support, we use it on a daily basis. So we get a lot of value out of this, as it's quite a big time saver for us as well. Right, so start off with the tool. I'll just give you guys a quick overview. So on the top left-hand side, we have product finders and engineering tools. So the product finders would be something similar to if I don't quite know what I'm looking for, but I want to narrow it down to a Festo component, I could click on a certain field. So let's say we are looking for tubing. I want to know a specific tubing, and you'll see as soon as I click on the product finder, it takes me to the internet, which I can set up. Then once it's in the Festo catalog, you'll see the product finder will pop up automatically, and then I can use that to eliminate some options. Say I know I need an 8mm OD tubing, so I can click on 8mm OD. I know that I want, let's say I want red tubing, and I definitely know that my tubing has some operating temperature or pressure criteria, so I need about 12 bar. And then you'll see as I start inputting some filters, options get grayed out. So eventually I end up with a few series that I know will be relevant to what I'm searching for. So in this case, I've got a customized tubing PLN pan for the high pressure at 12 bar. And then I can click on the individual item, in this case pan, and then configure my tubing to my exact requirements. So my length of tubing, etc., that I want, and the specific PAN type that I need, and then end up with a part number. So it's a great way to quickly find something if I'm not sure exactly what is the Festo part number or the description, or what can I use for this specific application. So that's one great use for quick search. You have all the links available for you. We've got engineering tools, simplified motion pneumatic sizing. If I want to size a cylinder for a certain force or application speed, soft stop positioning drives is linked. Air consumption, so I want to know how much a pneumatic cylinder will use running at 6 cycles a minute or whatever. I can use the air consumption tool to work out the volume required. Service unit combinations, for example, a Festo 3D tool. So some really nice features there. New products for 2020. If you want to see what Festo has launched for 2020 new, there's 2020 products. And a history button. The history button is really cool because everything I've done today whilst the tool is open is still available for me. So say I've configured a valve terminal on quick search, it's a long identification code, and I do something else, I get back to, I've lost the code. That's nice. In the history tool, the code will still be there. I can go back to that item, select it, and then go back and have my identification code. So you don't lose items, especially if it's configurables, which is really cool. Just to go into the setup, so the bottom left-hand corner, we have a little spanner that little spanner, if I click on it, will give me my basic setup for quick search. So there's a few things here you guys could consider that will make life quite easy. Match code, if you select that, you will don't have to type in dashes, spaces, or backslashes. You can just type in the letters in a row and it will pick up what the Festo ident code is, which is really nice. We run the world catalog, but if you want to avoid the American parts, which we don't stock locally in South Africa, so all the NPT type thread sit sizes, then you could go to the Australasian catalog, so you have some options available. Then also quite or important for the online basket, so if you put in your user and password here, it should pick up your online shop details, so then it will automatically take you into your online shop without you having to log in, which is quite nice. This parts list, what that refers to is where do you want your parts list alignment. The parts list is the BOM down here. You'll see here there's 10 tabs available. As you can see, I've renamed a few of mine and I use that as a BOM, so you can integrate it like myself, which then everything is on one screen, or you can have it as an option to the left or to the right or above, outside of your actual Quick Search Plus. That's all up to you. What I do want to highlight maybe, which is quite important, you've got two options down here. One, you can select your browser. So what is your default web browser that you'd like to use? As you can see, I'm using Edge. So if I select Edge, if I click on any link, it will open that in Edge. So sometimes the old Microsoft Explorer does give some problems, or potentially you guys are happy with using Mozilla or Chrome. You can select that here as your preference. Then all links that get opened, open in that browser. And then also this little number here on the side, this is your history. So you have an option to keep how many parts do you want to keep in history. So when you close the tool, how many parts should still be available from the previous time you had it open. So the last 5 items, the last 10 items, you can go all the way up to 99. Just keep in mind, the more history you have, it does sometimes affect the tool, makes it a bit slower. So I'd recommend 5 to 10 items, but it's up to you guys. All right, and then show all phased out products since 2002. This is quite nice. If you click this option, you have a phased out link, which I'm going to go to next. The phased out you'll see is in the product tree on the left hand side. So we've got all our Festo catalog products on the left hand side with their headings. So for different headings, for example, pneumatic drives, etc., the last one on the bottom here is phased out items. If I click on that, you'll see the list will update here to phased out. Once I'm on phased out, I can see any product that has been discontinued by Festo is not available any longer. If I want to see, for example, I can click on one of these items. Let me scroll down a bit here, select something like a DRE. There's a DRE quarter turn actuator. I have a link on top here that says phase out. Click here for alternatives. If I click on that item, takes me to support portal again, and it will show there if there is an alternative. So there were two nice things about this. One, it will show you when the item was phased out. So in this case, you see 2015. You'll also see if there's an automatic alternative. So does Festo have something which is similar? Sometimes it's only functionally the same. Sometimes it's 100% match, but we will show you that information. So it's a quick way to find out. Let me find something. Let me quickly see DGP. Quickly find you something that does have an Festo alternative currently. Go to DGP 32. So as you can see, the top bar here is where I type in my information. So let's just quickly click on the 32. All right, just want to quickly see. All right, guys, cool. So as you can see now, I've clicked on a DGP32, which has been phased out. You see from 2013, but you see the Festo alternative is offered here, DGCK32. And as you can see, it's 100% interchangeable. So you know that if your customer or yourselves have a DGP32, if you select the DGCK32, the the layout, the size, the ports, everything should match one-to-one. So you should not have a problem with exchanging that item to a newer version. That's some great guidelines for you to see what you can and can't replace for phased out items. That's quite a nice function. Right, so then just carrying on. So the normal catalog works similar to our Festo online catalog. So on the Festo website or the DKI, the offline version. So if you have a Festo part number or description, you can start typing. So let's start with the classic 6211. If I type in 6211, as I type, the system starts looking for the part or the description. And as you can see now, it's found it quite easily, 6211. I can see it's a solenoid valve, the part number, and the purchasing unit. So quantity to purchase is 1 item, which is quite nice. What I could also do is type in the description. So Festo works on 2 ways. If it's a stock item, usually the part number or description is exactly the same. Does not matter if I type in part number or description, should be the same result. Sometimes we have configurable items, which I'll show you guys a bit later. In that case, then the description does become important because that's specific to your configuration. But if I type in the actual description, it starts looking for the item. So I can say here M52, so 52A single solenoid. And as I type, it starts searching and starts finding the relevant item. So I can see immediately this is the valve here with that description, takes me to that point. What I could also do is another way of searching for items is if I know it's a valve, I could also have gone to the left-hand side in the product tree, select valves, then select universal valves, and then look at for solenoid valves, and then I get a complete list. So if you want to have an overview of what Festo solenoid valves are available, you can have a look at the list on the left-hand side here in your product tree. It will show you. So for example, pneumatic cylinders, I could click on pneumatic drives. Then I know, okay, I've got a piston rod cylinder, so I need a piston rod cylinder. And then I could look at the items that are available. So is it a standard? Is it a standard item? Is it a round cylinder? Is it a stainless steel cylinder? Is it a compact or short flat cylinder? Multi-mount. So if I click on cylinder with clamping unit, for example, then what pops up in the list is all the cylinders that have clamping units. So DSBC has clamping units. I've got a DSNU here. I've got ADN, DFLC, which is our new dynamic brake for cylinders. So as soon as I click on the item, then the details come up. So you have a few options how to search for the products. So as I mentioned earlier, what the items are, there's a little color code here on the left hand side, which could be quite interesting. If you click on the color code, it will show you. So anything blue color coded is our star items, so MLP product range. The star items means it's either in stock locally or in Germany, so it will be in stock available for you. Catalog range, so the standard catalog, which is not star, so not our focus features, there's a black tab to it. X length, so any product that has an X length, so it's a standard cylinder, for example, but you still need to define the stroke, would be in orange. And then configurable items are green. So anything that's green means that you already know as soon as you have a green tab there, you know the item needs to be configured. So the part number is just a generic. You will still have to give an ident code or configure it to the specific requirements that you have. Phased out is in red, of course. So those are all the items that are phased out. So that's quite a nice table or overview to give you a reference point as to what the products are. So as you can see with the ADN cylinders here, they're configurable items. So I have to actually physically go in and configure. So how I do that, if I select the ADN, for example, you'll see on the top here, I've got an ADN 63 configuration button. If I click on that, it will open up the Festo configurator. And then it's just a question of adding in the information I require. All right, so just waiting for that to load. You see here, so the first thing it asks me is a stroke. So what is my stroke? You see it's limited to 400. So in this case, let's say we've got a 200 stroke cylinder. We've got a piston rod thread. So we need to configure what is our piston rod thread. In this case, it's either male or female. So A or I option. And as you'll see, as soon as everything is configured and it's valid, the code turns to black. So in the Festo world, a blue code means it's configurable but not complete. So it's valid but not complete. Black means it's configured and complete. So as it is in that form, you can purchase and use it. No problem. And if something is configured incorrectly, it will show up red. So in this case, I can just press apply. So once I've pressed apply, it will take me back to the quick search tool. So the quick search tool now, you can see here has the code available for me. So this is nice because now from here, I could use a few lists because you can see it's ticked green, so it's definitely configured. Now I could do something and say, well, let's add this in a BOM. I want this as part of my BOM. So the first button here on the left-hand side below the ident code is add to parts list. So whichever parts list or tab I'm in, it's going to add it to that list. So I've selected the first list here. I deleted all the items in there just to start with a clean list. If I click on parts list, it's added it. Then I can say, but I want to add some accessories. So you'll see below on the picture, between the picture and the code here, there's a little drop down arrow. If I click on that, it should give me the recommended accessories for the item. So it makes it quite easy to find accessories for specific items. So let's say I want a mounting accessory, or let's say cylinder mounting. So I want to add a SNCB. So the right clevis for my cylinder, I can add that. To my list. So you'll see it starts populating the list on the bottom here as soon as I add, and then I want to actually add the accessory to the SNCB, which in this case should be the LNG. So I want to add an LNG to that. I can add that in as well. So that's quite nice to quickly get my accessories without having to look at documentation or try and find what is the right accessory for the cylinder. I want to add a piston rod attachment. So let's see, we add an SG. So we'll add a clevis on the front. So there we go. We just add the clevis, and you see as I do it, it starts adding items on the bottom here. And then let's add some fittings because we want to quickly add some fittings. So we go here. I don't want bob fittings, I want function fittings. Let's see, flow control valve, for example. Let's add one of those. All right, and then I just realized, okay, the ADN, it's a double acting, so I need 2 fittings. So how do I change that now? So what I can do is quickly double click on the one and the column below, and as you can see here, it's opened the tab, so I can quickly add, I want 2 fittings, and then I realized I actually need a spare for the SNCB, so I can quickly click through the list again and go back and say SNCB, add a 2 there, and then say okay. So you can see my quantity has just been updated from that list. So what I did there is I double clicked on the quantity amount, and then a pop-up window comes up. So if you want to quickly add something or change something in your list, you can also do it this way. So if I click on this item here, the pop-up list, I can now type in a new part number here if I want to change it. Say I'm not happy with the flow control, I want a different flow control, I can quickly type in the new part number for the flow control, press OK, and it updates the BOM. So that's a really nice way to do this BOM. And I'll get back to the BOMs a little bit later in a little bit more detail. What you do have, you've got 10 tabs here. As you can see, I've used a few already. So I use one for specifically if I have valve terminals. I've got a parts list here. I've got for process automation, I keep a BOM. So you can right click on this and rename your tab. So you can name it to whatever you want to, and then work with those tabs. So you have 10 different tabs where you can put in BOMs or items if you want to keep them, because whatever you do in this BOM below here, when you close the tool, it stays there for you. So when you open it the next day, those lists will all still be complete and available for you, which is really nice. Yeah, cool. So just to see here, the other links below here, just to go through that quickly, I have a add to online basket. So if I click on the shopping trolley, this will take me to my online shop directly and would add the item in for your online shop. So if you want pricing, when you want to get a quote for it, you can click on this. It will take you there quite quickly for the single item, or if you want the whole BOM, like I've put now all these parts in the list below here. If I want to add that to my online shop, you'll see the little shopping trolley here below in the BOM. If I click on that, then it will take the whole list and send it to my online shop, which I'll show you guys a little later. All right, so just to quickly see here, there's other options. I can say copy. So copy is really nice. Copy feature, if I click copy, I can share what kind of links I want, and I can say copy. I have an option which then takes it to my clipboard, or I can then, if I say here, if I go to my email, for example, and I just type in a new email here, I'll say Control V or paste, and then see what happens. It should now paste whatever I just copied out of quick search. So it keeps the quick search information, whichever I copied. So I can do that for the single item or the whole BOM. So you see GRLA 1/8 you've got there, and you've got links below. So if you ever want to send yourselves or customers quick links to documentation, to operating instructions, to the CAD or spare parts, this is a really nice way to do it. Let me just close that again. So using the copy option. Then I've also got CAD here. So I've linked the Festo CAD, which you can download on the Festo website. Got the Festo Part Data Manager, which is a Festo CAD system. If you download and install that on your PCs or your laptops, you get the quick search will pick up that you have it. And then once I go in here, I can say click on Festo Part Data Manager, and it will open up the CAD drawing for me, which it will do now in the background. Then I have linked to documentation. If I click on documentation, you'll see it will take me straight into the documentation flow. So you can see the benefit here. You do not have to think about where to find the link or how to find documentations, how do I find spare parts. So it's really quick and convenient. Get to the right information that you require. As you can see, I selected Edge as my browser. So as soon as I click on documentation, it takes me to Microsoft Edge. It starts opening the documentation here. It should show you guys shortly. Still loading. You see there, here's my documentation. Right, there's my CAD coming through now as well. So I should go to that shortly. I'll just quickly go here and click on the links. So I have a product tree. The newer browsers all have a product tree or the document tree. So for this case, I want to go to dimensions. I can quickly click on dimensions. It will take me straight to the dimensions page. And there I have for the GRLA flow controls, I can quickly see the documentations. Or if I do that again, just on the top left here, let's see, I want the technical information. I can click on technical, and then I can see the technical information. So really quick way to find and see. And maybe one last thing before I carry on. If you do go to the page at the bottom of every Festo documentation should always be, if there's accessories to the items, they'll always be at the bottom. Let me just use a different example here. Let's take a DSPC cylinder for relevance. Let's take DSPC 32 and open that documentation, just to show you guys. So if you ever want a complete overview of all the accessories of one of our products, once you open the documentation, right at the bottom, you'll have the accessories tab. And inside that accessories tab, you can see all the accessories available for that product. So similar to what I did now with the drop down in the tool, you can also get an overview for accessories. Quite nice sometimes if you have a plug or a cable or something and you want to know where it belongs. I can show you how to do that as well. But for the general documentation, right at the bottom of the documentation, there's always the accessories link. So all the accessories are available there. Right, so just waiting for this to load. Whilst it loads, I'll just quickly show you guys, there's the datasheet link here as well. There's operating instruction link, and there's a link to spare parts. So if I click on spare parts link, which is the little spanner up here, that will also take me to spare parts. So whilst the documentation is loading there, I'll just carry on. Once I'm in spare parts, you can see the Festo spare parts. I can type in any part number or description here to go for the spare parts. And then I can click on show spare parts. You'll see in this case, there's only one option. It's for all product series. So any product series that falls under this item, show spare parts with one quick click. So 2 clicks and I'm into the spare parts overview. And from here, as soon as it's loaded, I'll quickly show you guys how to get to the spare parts. So for example, if you want a wear parts kit for a DSPC cylinder, you'll see the wear parts kit is always the first item in the spare parts list. If I click on the wear parts kit, it will also highlight all the items that are included in the wear parts. So if you want to see what seals or what items are available for that wear parts kit, I'll just click here on the first item. Network's a little slow today. Just giving it a chance to update here. So if I click on that item, you'll see it highlights in black all the wear parts kits and the part numbers. So the numbers of this wear part are listed here, so you can see these items. So I can click on any of these items here also. It will highlight the item in the BOM. You can see if it's blue or black, you can get it. You can purchase it from us. If it's red, unfortunately, then it's not available to purchase as a spare parts item. Right, so just to take you guys back to the DSPC documentation, as I mentioned here, so all our accessories, you'll see here at the bottom are the accessories. If I click on the accessories, you'll see here all the accessories for the item is listed. So it's really nice overview to get information if you want to get information quite quickly. Right. Another nice feature, just to show you guys, if you have an accessory, so say now I have an accessory, let's use something that's a bit more random. I've got this plug, it's a Festo part number, I've typed it in, I can see it's a Festo part number, but I don't know where on earth am I using this. So I've got a plug, I don't know where to use it. I have this little accessory off tab here. If I click on that, also take me online and it will show me where this part has been used in the Festo world. So say I have an accessory of something, I want to know whereabouts or which item it belongs to. I can click on this link and it will show me quickly where this plug would fit onto. So in this case, it's a CPX module. So it's a power plug for a CPX module in this case. Right, so that's quite a nice way to work it both ways. So you can look at an item and look at the accessories, or you can have an accessory and work it back to which part does it belong to, which cylinder, which valve, etc. Where does it belong to? So as you can see, some really nice features here to do. I see we are running a bit out of time. So what I want to show is a few more really nice features. So I'm going to just delete this list. So what you see here is a quick add feature. So if you have an Excel sheet with Festo part numbers, or you have an Excel sheet that you've saved, or you have a parts list that you have saved, you want to import it. So you in an online shop, you have to import them one by one, item for item, can be really tedious. So what I've got here on the left-hand side, you won't see it now, but I do have a list here. So I'm just going to quickly control copy. Then I click on my quick add. So if I click on my quick add, you'll see immediately, let me maybe do that again so you see what I mean, is as soon as I copy any Festo part number or description, if you see control copy here, it will highlight it immediately, or it picks up that it's a Festo item. So it will then paste it into the list. So as you can see, the list was there previously, and then I just need to define it. So what do I have here? I've got quantity, I've got part number and description. So what I need is I need the first option, so quantity, part number and type ID, that the list can identify what you have. And then I just need to define, is it semicolon or tab delimited? So if I click on the right option, I say add, you'll see here immediately it adds the Festo lists to the BOM. So I can import lists like this to quick search, and from here I can click on add to online basket. Once I click on online basket, it takes me immediately to the online basket. I can see add to online basket right now. So if I click to add there, it will take me right in and add to the online basket. So you can see a really nice way, time saver here, to add a lot of parts quickly without having to take the time of adding them one by one. Another nice feature you won't see on my second screen here, I've got a Festo description. If I click control copy, it's a valid Festo description, so you see it immediately pops up here. So as soon as I copy any Festo part number or ident code, it will immediately open it up in quick search. So you can see quick search is flashing orange, so it's picked up something that I was doing something from a Festo point of view. Where this is really nice is if I have a valve terminal, for example, which is 2 lines of code, that can be really confusing. So let me copy a valve terminal here. Let's see what it does. you see it's picked it up immediately. So it's picked up that it's a valve terminal. I can see it's a VTSA. I've added both lines. This is a really nice, quick way of doing longer identification codes at the click of a button. So just to copy, it adds it into the catalog immediately. This is really cool because the spare parts also, if I click on here, with the newest updated spare parts catalog, I can break down the valve terminal into individual components. So if I want to see what that valve terminal is made up of, say I want to replace valves on a valve terminal, once I have the valid configuration code, I can say show spare parts, and you'll see then all the spare parts are listed. If I click on show spare parts, it's just going to load quickly. So you see here from the bus node, the end plates, the power plug, the base modules, everything is listed. So if I want individual components, then I want to know what these valves are. So the M-type valve here, you'll see 539184. So I know that's the valve part number. So if I want to change the valve or add spare parts or sell spare parts, I can just click on that. Quite an easy way to break down the valve terminal to see what valves are on there, for example, what fittings, etc. So really cool way to do that. Yeah, and then we've got about, I think, 5 minutes left. So I'm going to quickly show you one or two more other things. What we also have is we've got configurators these days where we have a C code. So if you configure a PA assembly or an HGO or handing guide online, it's you don't get an identification code at the end because they just get too long. What you do get is a C number. It's a little C with a few digits. The C number is a configuration. So the nice thing with the Quick Search Plus is it recognizes those C numbers. So I've copied one now, for example. I can see here the C number 1075206. It's a process automation assembly. So as you see, it's a butterfly valve with a quarter turn actuator and a switch box. So with that, really cool. With that C number, I've got a valid configuration. If I click on the C number, it will take me online and show me the breakdown of that C number. So I can go back to the support portal where you can also type in your C number either way. But with this, you can, for example, quickly see what is that C number made up of. So that's also a very nice feature. So the C numbers are also handled in Quick Search Plus. Right, so there's some really nice options. And then there's a lot more options which I haven't got time for today. I think I'll end off now as I'm running out of time. I'll just end off with one more feature, which has been asked recently. All these tabs, we only have 10 tabs. So in the event that you maybe want, you've got a list here, a product BOM of bill of materials of items that you want to keep. You don't want to delete it and put other items in there. You actually want to save it. What you can do is once you have this BOM, so for example, let me take this EA one here, for example, I have two options here at the bottom, which are either load or save. So if I click on save, for example, it will open up a link to my desktop or my PC. I can select a file where I want to save these, and I can say here, for example, save EA BOM, save it. Then I can say, all right, I want to do my daily work. I delete this list. I want to add other items to it. And then I remember, okay, but wait a minute. I want to requote on this list. I want to go back there. So then all I do is say load. I click on the little load button down here, go back in here. I've saved it as EA BOM. So if I say open load, you'll see there all my items are back, so I don't lose the BOM. So in case that you work with a lot of bill of materials for certain projects or certain machines or certain items, you have the ability now to create the BOM in this list, save it to your desktop, keep it there, or save it to your PC, wherever you want to. Keep it there as a reference, and then whenever you require it, you can import it again quite easily. It's really nice workaround because we only have 10 lists. So for some people that fills up quite quickly. As you can see with my lists, all of them are pretty much full. So if I have critical information there that I don't necessarily want to lose, I can use this to save the BOM and then get it back. And also quite nice with the BOM is if I see my item, say I have an item there that I want to see together on the quote or wherever, I have a little up or down arrows, so I can shift that item around to the relevant position. So if you have fittings and tubings, you want all the fittings together, for example, with the tubings, you can move the items if you've imported a list. I could also, if I quickly show you guys here, let me just quickly delete this. I could also add multiple items, so I can click on item, shift, go down the list and press shift, hold. You'll see it will highlight the whole list, and then I can import that as a BOM. So if I click shift on the list, I can click on the first item, shift, and then the next item. I can add multiple items to the BOM in one shot. So if you want to import or export items, this is quite a nice way to do it. Also, as you can see here, there's an estimated shipping date. This could be quite interesting for you guys. If I click on this little delivery truck here, it will give me an estimated delivery date of all the items in the list. So if I want to see, for example, is the item stocked locally or is it going to come in from Germany? This is a really nice way to do it in the BOM. Okay, it's a long list now because I copied it, but it will look at each individual item and then give you an estimated delivery date. So if it's between excuse me, if it's between 1 and 3 days, you know it's stocked locally or gets produced in South Africa at Festo. If it is longer, 10 to 15 days usually, then it's coming from Festo headquarters in Germany. All right, that is, I think, it. You can see here the dates, delivery dates. Then as soon as I've clicked on the little delivery truck, it shows the delivery dates. So as you hopefully could see today, there's a lot of nice benefits here for you guys. A really quick workaround and a quick way to work. Don't have to think about links. You can copy information, send information, share information, open CAD. I don't think I showed you guys, but the CAD that I opened previously, it opened in the Festo Part Data Manager, which is available for you, by the way. If you want it, you can download it from the Festo website. You can install it on your PC. So for Festo items, you can then go and say, I want to quickly measure something. So I want to see what fitting size this or tubing size does this. You see it's a 3 mil, so it's a really small fitting. I can see the height or measure items on here. So there's some really nice benefits to using quick search. It's compact, it doesn't take up a lot of space, and it is really beneficial because you have access to information quickly. You can copy information in, copy it out. For example, here you can export your list to Excel. So any BOM that you have, you can export to Excel. Some really, really cool features. So I really hope this has been beneficial to you and you've seen some value in this. I think right now, I think, Nikita, would you mind just unmuting the audience? I think then if there's any questions in the tab, we can handle those now. If there's anything, well, unless you have questions now, if Nikita's unmuted you, then please feel free to also ask them. We'll then have a look. If there's anything else I could show you guys or give you some more information on. And then I really hope this was of some value to you, and I would look forward to helping you guys in the future with quick search. If you have any questions, you're welcome to contact me afterwards as well. We work through technical support, myself and my colleague, so we're available through the contact center or technical support. So that's great. We use the tool daily, so there's definitely benefits to that. And then I want to thank you guys for your time this morning and for attending today. I hope that has been of some benefit to you. Right.
Thomas, they have been unmuted.
All right. Thank you, Nikita. So ladies and gents, if there are any questions, feel free to ask or type it in the chat if you prefer. Either way, I'd gladly use the last 15 minutes now to just see if we can discuss some things or show you some more detail if you want to see some more detail, or if you was a little bit fast with some of the steps, you want to re-see something, please feel free to ask. Right, otherwise, if there's no further questions, then I thank you guys for your time today and wish you all the best today. And thank you for the attendance. I think this is a recorded session, so it will be available on the Festo website. So if you want to go back to it and have a look at it, please feel free to do. It will probably be up within the next few days.
Thanks so much, Thomas.
Thanks, Leanne.